Hello everyone. I want to talk to you today and hopefully I can encourage you in the next few minutes. I want to ask you a question. Do you have the necessary riprap established to sustain you in difficult seasons? I know that's a strange word, and I actually came across it recently and decided to look it up and read a little bit about it. Well, riprap is a term referring to a rocky barrier often placed along shorelines, bridge foundations, and steep slopes to prevent erosion. While recently reading this, the verse came to my mind from Psalm 61 and 2. It says, "From the ends of the earth I cry to you for help. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the towering rock of safety." There is historical evidence that David wrote this Psalms while dealing with crisis in his family life. While at the peak of his leadership as king, a series of events occurred in his family that shook him to the very core. First of all, David's first son, Abner, committed a terrible crime. He raped his half-sister. And when his brother Absalom found out, he decided that he would not put up with this, and so he had Abner killed. And then Absalom himself decided that he was going to lead a rebellion against his father. And so here's his father, a king over Israel, having to run for his life to hide out into the desert and into the caves with his family. And then Absalom was killed by David's military. Can you imagine the stress and the anxiety that David must have been feeling? He must have felt like, I just can't take anymore. Maybe you're there today. Maybe you are on the edge and you just don't know what to do. Well, I pray that this devotion will encourage you to keep going and to look to the right source. Now, I'm sure being a king's kid, there came with it a lot of benefits. You know, everything to their fingertips, I'm sure. And David may have been, preoccupied with establishing a kingdom, and he may have failed to pay attention to his family like he ought. We don't know why the kids did what they did. And no doubt David began to ponder the decisions that he had made over and over in his mind. What did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? And maybe he wondered how his own poor decisions played into his present crisis. I want to ask you today, are you overwhelmed with your situation? Are your kids making bad decisions and you just don't know what to do? Maybe your family is just going through a rough spot right now and you are feeling you are at the end of your rope. Well, Psalms 61, is a prayer from a desperate man who needed God to intervene on his behalf. And maybe you're feeling like that. You need God to do something and to do it now. Because the phrase that says, "from the ends of the earth," speaks of a state of despair and danger, feeling abandoned and forsaken. I mean, his own son is eager to kill him and to take his position as a new king. There are times when life situations actually shake us to the very core, where it seems that things are caving in all around us and life is just too much, and we wonder if we're going to survive it. Some of us resort to a variety of distractions, sometimes prescription drugs, alcohol, illicit relationships, all which land us in a more terrible time than we were initially in. The statement, the towering rocks of safety, that David wrote about is a place where he had been many times in his life before. He knew that once he gained God's full-on attention, his circumstances and the pressures of leadership would not be as overwhelming. Listen to what David said in Psalms 91. You who sit down in the high God's presence, spent the night in Shaddai's shadow. Say this, God, you're my refuge. I trust in you and I'm safe. That's right. He rescues you from hidden traps, shields you from deadly hazards. His huge outstretched arms protect you. Under them, you're perfectly safe. Perhaps you're in a place like David today, feeling far away from God and overwhelmed by the challenges before you, and you have no idea what to do or where to turn. You know, it's very important that we have a protective barrier around various aspects of our lives, emotionally and spiritually and socially. Otherwise, we will be crushed in our difficult times. But you need and I need the rock that is higher and stronger than your adversity to protect you. Jesus Christ is the answer, and he is more able to protect you and to keep you secure. I leave with you this scripture also that David wrote in Psalms 40:1. He said, I waited patiently for the Lord. That's hard sometimes to wait. And he said, and he inclined unto me, and he heard my cry. Can I tell you, he hears your cry. He knows what you're going through. It says, he brought me up also out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and he set my feet upon a rock and established my goings. And he has put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto my God. Many shall see it and fear, and shall trust in the Lord. Can I encourage you today to put your trust and your confidence in God? Don't put your confidence in man or in things that you have. It won't work. But put your confidence and trust in Jesus Christ. He is the answer. He is our shelter and our courage and our strength. May God bless you today. I just want to say we love you and we are praying for you each one. May God bless you today.